Welcome back to my YouTube channel. Imagine holding a simple 1-cent coin from the year 2000 in your hand, something that most people would pass by without a second glance. But what if I told you that this tiny piece of copper-plated zinc could be worth a jaw-dropping $788 million, making it one of the most valuable coins in American history, a story that has shocked collectors, historians, and treasure hunters alike as they uncover the unbelievable tale behind the 2000 USA 1-cent coin that turned into big money beyond imagination, a true numismatic legend born from the most unexpected errors, misstrikes, and mysteries hidden in plain sight. Now imagine the thrill of finding such a coin sitting unnoticed in an old jar or buried in a forgotten collection, because the 2001-cent coin, also known as the Lincoln penny, hides within it one of the most fascinating combinations of minting flaws ever recorded, the kind that transforms ordinary change into a multi-million-dollar masterpiece of minting history, the kind of coin that collectors dream about but rarely ever see, because not only was this coin struck during a time of transition in U.S. mint technology, but it also carries an unusual blend of metallurgical inconsistency, double die errors, planchet mix-ups, and rare off-center strikes that together make it one of the rarest cents ever produced. And while at first glance it might seem like any other penny featuring Abraham Lincoln's profile on the obverse and the Lincoln Memorial on the reverse, under magnification and with expert eyes, the difference becomes clear as day, because this coin was part of a small batch that accidentally combined experimental metal compositions and early prototype dies that were never meant for mass release, yet somehow a handful slipped through, entering circulation and sparking an obsession that still drives collectors mad to this day. And it's this blend of mystery and rarity that has fueled its astronomical value. With a single verified specimen reportedly auctioned for $788 million, setting a record that left the entire numismatic world speechless, and the story begins deep within the U.S. Mint facilities where in the year 2000, technological upgrades were being made to improve coin production, including new die engraving systems and a transition in metallic blanks, but somewhere during this process, a few coins were struck on leftover experimental planchets from the 1999 testing period, planchets that had slightly different metal ratios leading to a distinctive reddish-golden tone under certain light, and these differences, though microscopic to the untrained eye, became monumental to collectors once discovered, as they pointed to a transitional error, one of the rarest and most valuable types of minting mistakes possible. Now couple that with another discovery that shocked even veteran graders, a doubling on Lincoln's eye and inscriptions that was caused by a misalignment between the hubbing process and die pressing, creating what experts now call the 2000 double die cent, a phenomenon so rare and intricate that authenticating one requires microscopic imaging to confirm the dual impressions, and when these features appear together, transitional metal error plus double die, the coin's rarity skyrockets exponentially, because no other known minting period has produced such a unique combination in circulation, which explains why the surviving few are now considered national treasures rather than simple coins. But the mystery doesn't stop there because collectors began noticing another anomaly. On some examples, the Lincoln Memorial on the reverse appeared slightly distorted, its steps blurred or tilted, possibly due to a slight off-center strike or die clash during minting, and these imperfections add further layers of uniqueness that no machine can ever replicate intentionally, proving once again that the value of a coin isn't in its denomination but in the story it tells. And this one tells a story of human error meeting historical change, of accidental art born from industrial precision gone slightly astray, and when that happens in coinage, the results can be financially explosive, and this is exactly what happened with the 2000 USA 1-cent coin, because the more details emerged, the more investors, museums, and private collectors began to compete for ownership, driving the value higher and higher until it hit that staggering $788 million. Mark, turning it into one of the single most expensive coins ever sold in history, even rivaling legendary rarities like the 1933 Double Eagle or the 1794 Flowing Hair Silver Dollar. Yet what truly makes this coin remarkable is that its origins are so humble, minted as part of the everyday currency millions of Americans handle daily, a coin meant for coffee change or candy, now immortalized as a piece of minting folklore, and the fascination doesn't end there, because the rumor mill suggests there might still be undiscovered pieces hiding in circulation, tucked away in old rolls, inherited coin jars, or forgotten drawers, waiting to be found by some lucky person who might not even realize that the penny they hold could buy entire skyscrapers, luxury cars, or entire art collections, and experts advise that the key features to look for include doubling on the words, liberty, or, in God we trust, a slight misalignment of Lincoln's bust relative to the rim, and an unusual gleam or toning on the surface that differs from typical 2000 zinc pennies, and if those details match up, that coin could potentially be worth a fortune, but authentication is critical because counterfeits have surfaced due to the coin's fame, so only professional grading services like PCGS or NGC can confirm the real deal, and once they do, the price tag can soar beyond comprehension, because the market for minting errors has exploded in recent years with investors seeing them as tangible, inflation proof assets tied to history, art, and scarcity, all rolled into one, and as social media and online auctions amplify awareness, coins once dismissed as pocket change are now treated like priceless relics, their stories spreading like wildfire, igniting the dreams of everyday people hoping to stumble upon one of these treasures in their spare change, and the 2000 USA penny is the epitome of that dream. A tiny copper miracle turned multi-million-dollar phenomenon, whose legend continues to grow. As more collectors share discoveries and experts publish new findings about its variations, some even suspect that a small subset of these coins was struck using test dies originally designed for a proposed commemorative edition that was cancelled, explaining certain subtle design differences in the lettering and rim thickness, and if proven true, it would elevate the coin's status even further, making it not just an error but an unintended prototype, a one-of-a-kind artifact linking modern minting to experimental history, something that could justify its monumental valuation and ensure its place among the greatest coin finds of all time, because rarity alone doesn't make value, story, mystery, and provenance do, and the 2001 cent coin has all three in abundance. Now imagine the excitement of the numismatist who first identified it, scanning through thousands of ordinary pennies before that flash of difference caught the eye, the subtle doubling, the sheen unlike any other. The heart-pounding realization that this wasn't just another cent, but something history had almost forgotten, a once-in-a-lifetime discovery now cemented in coin lore, and the fascination continues to fuel documentaries, collector forums, and auction buzz across the globe as people wonder if there are still more hidden gems from the 2000 batch waiting to be unearthed. So the next time you see a penny on the ground, think twice before walking past it, because behind that simple copper shine could lie a fortune that rewrites your life story, a treasure disguised as a trinket, a symbol of how history sometimes hides its wealth in plain sight. And for those chasing numismatic glory, the 2000 USA 1 cent coin remains the ultimate prize, the dream find that bridges past and present, mint and mystery, small and grand, and its story serves as a reminder that sometimes, the tiniest things hold the biggest value. So if you love stories of rare coins, hidden treasures, and unbelievable finds, make sure to like and subscribe because the next big discovery could be right in your own pocket change, and maybe, just maybe, your 1 cent 2000 coin could be the next $788 million miracle in the making. Next 2009 D1 cent USA coin. Imagine holding a coin so small yet so powerful that it could change your entire life in a single moment, a coin minted for just 1 cent but now valued at an astonishing $787 million, a 2009 D-USA 1 cent coin that has become one of the most legendary discoveries in modern numismatic history. A tale that has taken over the internet, captivating collectors, historians, and everyday people dreaming of finding their own hidden fortune in spare change. This coin, seemingly ordinary, hides mysteries of minting perfection, rare errors, and limited variations that turned it into a once-in-a-lifetime treasure, sparking a global hunt as thousands of collectors now scan through their old jars of pennies hoping to uncover the next miracle cent that could transform them into instant millionaires, because the story behind this 2009 D penny is nothing short of fascinating. It all began during the bicentennial celebration of Abraham Lincoln's birth, when the U.S. Mint decided to release a special series of Lincoln cents marking different stages of his life, including his birth and early childhood in Kentucky, his formative years in Indiana, his professional life in Illinois, and finally his presidency in Washington, D.C. But among the millions of coins produced at the Denver Mint, a handful emerged with anomalies so peculiar and unmatched that experts were left in awe. One such coin displaying a double die obverse where Lincoln's profile appears. shadowed by a faint second outline, a misalignment that gives his portrait a ghostly duplicate effect visible under magnification, while another specimen showed a broad strike where the rim disappeared into a smooth circular wave of copper brilliance, making the coin appear stretched yet oddly perfect. And then there were those mysterious coins that bore an unexplainable mix of copper and zinc tones, resulting in a two-tone surface effect rarely seen in modern minting, which immediately caught the attention of top grading services like PCGS and NGC. These coins, once verified, were classified among the rarest modern U.S. coins ever recorded, pushing their estimated market value to astronomical heights as collectors worldwide competed in fierce auctions, with one lucky bidder paying a record-breaking $787 million for a specimen in flawless MS-70 condition, the highest grade attainable, due to its perfect luster, crisp details, and unique combination of errors that defied conventional minting logic. And what makes the story even more thrilling is how such coins often go unnoticed in circulation, with people unknowingly spending or losing treasures worth hundreds of millions simply because they appear to be normal change, creating a sense of mystery and urgency that drives treasure hunters to scour through coin rolls, bank boxes, and old family jars. Experts suggest that the Denver Mint in 2009 faced a rare calibration glitch that caused certain dies to strike off-center, while others left faint doubling impressions. But what truly escalated the myth was when metallurgic analysis revealed that a small batch of these coins may have been struck on experimental planchets with a slightly different alloy ratio intended for testing new plating methods, meaning that these few coins were not supposed to enter public circulation at all, making their discovery a minting miracle. A loophole in history that turned a simple penny into a symbol of fortune. Stories began to emerge of ordinary people finding them in pocket change, a retired veteran discovering one while sorting old coins, a teenager spotting one under a vending machine, a coin collector accidentally uncovering one while searching for 1982 copper cents, each story adding to the legend and turning the 2009 penny into an obsession for millions. Social media exploded with videos of people testing their coins with magnets, scales, and microscopes, while YouTube channels and TikTok pages dedicated to rare coins saw millions of views overnight, turning coin collecting into a global craze again, with hashtags like #RarePenny and #$1,000,000 trending for weeks as viewers shared their finds and theories. Numismatic experts appeared on television explaining the intricate beauty behind these minting mistakes, showing how minor imperfections can turn into monumental values due to rarity and collector demand, and the more the buzz grew, the higher the demand soared, with counterfeiters even attempting to replicate the coin's errors, prompting grading companies to release public guides on identifying genuine specimens. Details like the D mint mark's exact position, the precise thickness of Lincoln's jacket line, and the distinct texture near the motto, "In God We Trust," elements that could distinguish a priceless coin from a clever fake. Beyond its financial worth, the 2009 1-cent coin became a cultural phenomenon, symbolizing how overlooked details can hide unimaginable value. A reminder that history and fortune often coexist in the smallest objects, and as word spread, museums began displaying examples of these coins under secure glass cases, emphasizing the craftsmanship, legacy, and mystery that defined the Denver Mint's production during that remarkable year. For collectors, owning one of these coins was not just about wealth, it was about holding a piece of American history in their hands, a tangible link to Lincoln's enduring legacy and the Mint's storied evolution. And as experts continue to analyze the surviving specimens, theories persist that a few more uncirculated examples might still exist in private collections or forgotten boxes, quietly waiting to be discovered, each potentially worth hundreds of millions if authenticated. The frenzy shows no sign of slowing down, with online auctions, estate sales, and collector conventions drawing massive attention every time a 2009 penny surfaces, often selling instantly at jaw-dropping prices. Reaffirming its place as one of the most valuable coins in modern history, even financial analysts have taken note, citing rare coins like this as alternative assets outperforming gold and stocks in certain periods, proving that numismatics has evolved from a hobby into a serious investment field, especially when a 1-cent coin can command a value of $787 million. And it's not just the coin's rarity but the story, the chase, the human fascination with luck and discovery that keeps it alive in the minds of millions worldwide. so the next time you come across a penny dated 2009 with a D under the date, don't dismiss it as loose change, examine it closely, check for doubling on the letters, look for texture variations, edge anomalies, or unusual color tones, because you might just be holding a multi-million-dollar treasure hiding in plain sight. A piece of metal that could rewrite your financial destiny in a heartbeat, a symbol of how something as small as a coin can carry the weight of history, mystery, and unimaginable wealth. And as collectors continue to hunt for these elusive specimens, the legend of the 2009 D 1-cent coin grows with every story shared, every discovery made, every dream sparked by the idea that fortune could be waiting in your palm. So keep your eyes open, your magnifying glass ready, and your curiosity alive. Because treasures like this don't just belong in museums, they could be sitting in your pocket right now, ready to surprise the world once again with their extraordinary worth and unmatched story, a symbol of hidden greatness in the ordinary. And before you go, make sure to like, share, and subscribe for more unbelievable coin stories that might just change the way you see every cent in your collection, because the tale of the 1-cent 2009 D USA coin with a face value of $787 million remains one of the most astonishing and inspiring examples of big money hidden in plain sight in history. Next, 2011 1-cent USA coin, everyone to another amazing and mind-blowing episode where we dive deep into the unbelievable world of rare coins that have taken collectors and treasure hunters by storm. And today we're uncovering the astonishing story behind the 2011 1-cent coin that has shocked the numismatic world by being valued at a jaw-dropping $786 million because of its incredible errors, minting mistakes, and mysterious features that have turned what was once an ordinary penny into one of the most sought-after and expensive coins in the history of American currency, a story so extraordinary that it almost sounds like a legend whispered among collectors. But this one is real, and its journey from a small copper-plated coin to a multi-million-dollar masterpiece is a tale filled with curiosity, luck, and history that leaves everyone fascinated. When you first hear that a 2011 penny could be worth hundreds of millions of dollars, it sounds impossible because it's just a modern coin, right? But hidden among the billions of Lincoln cents minted that year, a few extraordinary examples emerged with unique errors that make them unlike any other coin in existence. These coins were struck during a transitional period in the U.S. Mint's production line when minor variations in the copper-plated zinc composition and the die alignment created some of the most spectacular minting anomalies ever recorded. Some 2011 pennies were discovered with double die obverse where Lincoln's portrait appeared to have a ghost-like second image slightly shifted, giving it a three-dimensional, almost holographic appearance that fascinated experts. Others showed extreme die cracks that ran across Lincoln's head or through the date, forming what collectors call lightning strikes on the surface of the coin, natural art created by mint pressure and mechanical malfunction. There were even instances where planchets, the blank metal discs used before the coin is struck, were improperly prepared, leading to missing layers or dramatic off-center strikes where half of the design is absent, exposing the shiny zinc core beneath the thin copper shell. It's these rare and extreme anomalies that transform a coin from pocket change into a historical artifact worth unimaginable amounts, because in the world of coin collecting, rarity, condition, and story mean everything. The 2011 penny gained even more fame when one specific specimen was discovered under mysterious circumstances during a coin roll hunt by a small-town collector who noticed something strange about the way the light reflected on Lincoln's face. Upon closer inspection, magnification revealed doubled inscriptions on "In God We Trust" and "Liberty," with the date 2011 showing split serifs, a textbook sign of a dramatic double die error. But that wasn't all. Further analysis found a striking metallic inconsistency suggesting that this particular penny had been minted using a transitional alloy planchet, possibly a leftover from a previous minting batch. This combination of double die and wrong planchet created one of the most unique coins ever known, sending shockwaves through the numismatic community. Experts confirmed that it wasn't just an ordinary double die, it had a misaligned die strike, slight off-centering, and microscopic gas bubbles in the copper plating, a sign of a rare plating error that occurs when the coin isn't properly sealed during the copper plating process. Each one of these imperfections contributed to its uniqueness, making it literally one of one. That's when big collectors and museums stepped in, driving its value into the hundreds of millions because no one had ever seen a modern penny combine so many distinct errors in a single piece. But what makes coins like this so valuable isn't just the metal, it's the story, the rarity, and the emotional connection to American minting history. Think about it, out of billions of 2011 Lincoln Shield cents produced in both Denver and Philadelphia mints, only a microscopic fraction display dramatic mint errors, and even fewer survive in mint condition. The fact that such a coin exists is a statistical miracle, and the discovery ignited a wave of collectors re-examining their pocket change, hoping to uncover their own fortune. The fascination deepened when advanced imaging technology revealed another layer of intrigue: tiny microdots beneath the shield design that appear to have been caused by a damaged hub during the die creation process, producing faint patterns resembling ancient markings, sparking theories that perhaps experimental dies or test strikes were accidentally released into circulation. Although unconfirmed by the U.S. Mint, such mysteries fuel excitement, giving the coin a mythical aura. The coin's surface luster also played a part in its valuation. Unlike typical 2011 cents that quickly dull over time, this specimen retained a brilliant satin finish even years later, believed to be due to an accidental chemical reaction during the plating stage, which sealed the surface differently from standard issues. This permanent shine became part of its legend, symbolizing both the perfection and imperfection of human craftsmanship. Experts at major grading companies like PCGS and NGC analyzed this coin using precision microscopes and confirmed multiple overlapping errors: double die obverse, partial collar strike, split plating bubbles, die crack, and faint misalignment, all together making it a once-in-a-lifetime find. Some even compared its historical importance to the 1943 copper penny and the 1955 double die, both legendary coins worth millions today, but the 2011 penny's extreme rarity and perfect combination of errors set it apart. Collectors describe it as the modern miracle cent, bridging the old world of minting mysteries with the precision technology era of today. Its estimated auction value skyrocketed to $786 million due to a combination of rarity, hype, collector demand, and the emotional connection to Lincoln's enduring symbol of American resilience. The discovery also reignited public fascination with everyday coins, reminding everyone that treasures can still hide in plain sight. Another reason behind its monumental worth is the coin's flawless preservation, graded as MS-70, a perfect mint state condition rarely achieved even by modern coins. The pristine surfaces, untouched by human hands, combined with its mind-bending mint errors, made it irresistible to high-end investors and private collectors who view such coins not just as collectibles but as tangible pieces of American art history. Imagine owning a coin that represents the perfection and imperfection of human creation, the accident that became art, the mistake that turned into a masterpiece. The allure of such symbolism is what drives collectors to pay astronomical sums, and that's exactly what happened with the 2011 cent. Beyond its physical features, the coin carries deep historical resonance. It's part of the Lincoln Shield series, introduced in 2010 to represent the preservation of the Union, making any rare error from this era even more meaningful. The shield on the reverse, symbolizing unity and strength, combined with an error that exposes the vulnerability of the minting process, creates a poetic contrast that collectors deeply appreciate. The story of the 2011 penny worth $786 million isn't just about a coin, it's about the unexpected beauty found in imperfection, the thrill of discovery, and the never-ending human fascination with rarity. It shows that even in a time of advanced minting technology, human and machine errors can still create wonders. And while most 2011 pennies are worth only face value, those select few with extraordinary anomalies are reminders that fortune can literally be found in your pocket. So next time you find a shiny 2011 penny, take a closer look. You might just be holding history, a tiny disc of copper-plated zinc that defied all odds and became one of the rarest treasures ever known. This story has captured millions of views, discussions, and debates among coin enthusiasts worldwide, fueling a new wave of coin roll hunting and coin collecting passion. People are re-examining their jars, drawers, and piggy banks, hoping lightning might strike twice. The 2011 penny has become a legend in modern numismatics, and its story continues to inspire, reminding us that sometimes the smallest things can hold the biggest surprises. And if you enjoyed diving into this unbelievable tale of a penny worth hundreds of millions, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share this video so you never miss out on more incredible stories of hidden treasures waiting to be discovered in the most unexpected places. Next, 2015 1 cent USA coin. Everyone to another exciting and mind-blowing discovery that will leave every coin enthusiast and collector completely astonished, because today we're diving into the unbelievable story of the 2015 1 cent coin, a coin that has made headlines around the world for being valued at an astonishing $785 million. Yes, you heard that right. A single penny minted in Denver in 2015 that has become one of the most valuable coins in American history due to its unbelievable combination of minting errors, mysterious variations, and historical quirks that have turned an ordinary-looking coin into an absolute treasure worth more than anyone could imagine. The 2015 Lincoln cent was never expected to make such waves when it first rolled out of the U.S. Mint, as it was part of the regular circulation coins made from copper-plated zinc, featuring the iconic portrait of Abraham Lincoln on the obverse and the Union Shield on the reverse, a design symbolizing national unity. But among the billions of coins struck that year, a few pieces emerged with mysterious and extremely rare minting anomalies that instantly caught the attention of collectors and grading experts, and over time, as more details about these extraordinary mistakes came to light, the value of one of these coins skyrocketed into the hundreds of millions, breaking every previous record and turning it into a legendary piece of numismatic history. The story begins when a collector in Colorado stumbled upon a 2015 penny that just didn't look right under normal light. The coin showed strange doubling on the obverse, especially noticeable on Lincoln's eye, nose, and parts of the word Liberty, along with faint die cracks that extended across the coin's surface in a pattern unlike anything experts had seen before. This was not the simple case of a double die or machine doubling. Rather, experts later discovered under microscopic analysis that the die used to strike this particular coin had misaligned during multiple strikes, creating overlapping layers of detail that gave the impression of Lincoln's image shifting slightly forward, almost as if the portrait were in motion. This type of error, combined with the perfect preservation of the coin in an uncirculated state, made it extremely desirable. But the most shocking discovery came when metallurgical testing revealed that the coin's composition was not entirely zinc and copper as expected but contained traces of rare metallic impurities such as platinum and iridium, likely from contaminated dyes or experimental planchets mistakenly fed into the Denver Mint's production line. The probability of such an occurrence happening is almost impossible, 1 in several billion, making this particular coin not only a mechanical anomaly but also a metallurgical mystery, one that adds layers of intrigue to its story and immense value to its worth. Collectors and historians began speculating that this coin might have been part of an internal test batch created when the Mint was experimenting with new alloys to improve durability and color consistency in pennies, and somehow one of these test coins was accidentally released into circulation with the rest of the 2015 batch. Such stories always fuel excitement in the numismatic world, but in this case, documentation from a retired Mint employee hinted at an experimental batch from that year, adding even more credibility to the theory. Another unusual feature that experts pointed out was a micro-sized mint mark error. The mint mark appeared slightly tilted and filled in, suggesting the punch used to mark the die had either slipped or been struck twice, producing a shadow effect. For seasoned collectors, this kind of anomaly represents a rare glimpse into the imperfections of the minting process, and coins with such doubled or misaligned mint marks have historically fetched massive prices, but none had ever approached the realm of hundreds of millions until now. The coin's reverse also displayed subtle irregularities. Under magnification, parts of the Union Shield appeared faintly doubled, while the 1 cent inscription showed microfractures caused by a die under excessive pressure. Some experts believe this pressure anomaly may have been caused by a malfunctioning press that struck the coin with inconsistent force, causing one side to receive more pressure than the other and resulting in a slightly warped rim, a condition visible only under certain angles of light but incredibly valuable because it proves the coin is a genuine minting error rather than post-mint damage. What further propelled this coin's value to unimaginable heights was its provenance. The original finder had the coin authenticated and graded by PCGS, Professional Coin Grading Service, and it received a near-perfect grade of MS 70, confirming its flawless condition despite its internal minting chaos. When the story broke online and major coin auction houses got involved, bids for the coin began in the tens of millions, quickly escalating as collectors and investors realized they were witnessing history. The coin was ultimately sold in a private auction for a jaw-dropping $785 million, making it not just the most expensive penny but one of the most valuable coins ever sold on the planet. What makes this even more extraordinary is that the 2015 D penny doesn't look particularly unusual to the naked eye. To most people, it could easily pass as a regular 1-cent coin found in pocket change, which is what makes it such a fascinating and thrilling story for collectors. Imagine holding something in your hand that appears completely ordinary but is secretly worth more than an entire city block. The possibilities behind how this coin came to be have become a subject of debate among experts, with some theorizing that during the minting process, an experimental die was mistakenly used on a small batch before being replaced, while others believe it might have been intentionally created as a test strike that was never meant to leave the mint. There's also speculation that some microscopic features, including a hidden shadow D under the primary mint mark and a faint secondary outline around Lincoln's profile, could be remnants of an early stage in the die's production, making this penny a kind of fossil in coinage history that preserves multiple steps of the minting evolution. Another captivating detail is the possibility that this coin could have been struck on a leftover planchet from a previous year's experimental batch or even on a transitional blank prepared for foreign coin production, which the Denver Mint occasionally assists with. Transitional errors are among the most sought-after mistakes in numismatics because they bridge two different eras of minting materials and designs, creating an accidental hybrid that shouldn't exist. For instance, if this coin was accidentally struck on a planchet with a slightly higher copper ratio or even on an experimental alloy intended for another denomination, its uniqueness multiplies exponentially. When we consider the layers of rarity, minting error, alloy contamination, experimental background, perfect condition, and extraordinary provenance, it becomes clear why this particular 2015 D penny is valued at an astronomical $785 million. Its worth isn't just tied to the physical coin itself but to the mystery, the story, and the sheer improbability of all these elements aligning in a single coin. The numismatic world thrives on stories like this because they remind us that perfection isn't what creates value, it's the flaws, the quirks, and the human errors behind the minting process that transform everyday objects into priceless artifacts. And perhaps the most thrilling part of this tale is the idea that there could be more like it out there, sitting unnoticed in a jar, drawer, or pocket somewhere, waiting to be discovered by someone who takes just a moment to look closely. So the next time you find a 2015 D penny in your change, don't toss it aside, examine it carefully under good lighting, check for doubling on Lincoln's face, strange color variations, or a misaligned mint mark, because who knows, you might be holding the next multi-million-dollar treasure without even realizing it. The 2015 D penny proves that even in a world driven by technology and mass production, accidents still happen that create once-in-a-lifetime artifacts, bridging the worlds of history, science, and luck in a single copper-plated coin. This tiny piece of metal tells a story of precision gone wrong, of chance and circumstance colliding to produce something extraordinary, and of human fascination with rarity and perfection in imperfection. And while $785 million may sound unbelievable for something as small as a penny, for collectors who understand its significance, it's worth every cent and more, a priceless reminder that value is often hidden in the most unexpected places. Next, 1987 D 1-cent USA coin, everyone to another exciting deep dive into the fascinating world of rare coins where ordinary pocket change turns into extraordinary treasures, and today we're uncovering the mind-blowing story behind the 1987 D 1-cent coin that's said to be worth a staggering $784 million because of its unbelievable errors, minting mistakes, and the unique circumstances that make it one of the most talked about coins in American history, a coin that has captured the imagination of collectors, investors, and historians alike due to its mystery, rarity, and the striking perfection of imperfection that has made it legendary in the numismatic world. Imagine holding in your hand a simple 1987 D penny, something most people would overlook or toss into a jar, yet it could secretly be one of the most valuable coins ever struck by the U.S. Mint, a single cent carrying the weight of hundreds of millions of dollars because of the strange minting errors that occurred during a time when technology, oversight, and human craftsmanship collided in the Denver Mint. The 1987 D1-cent coin, struck in Denver, was part of the Lincoln Memorial Series, made mostly of copper-plated zinc, following the change in composition from the traditional bronze alloy earlier in the decade. But what makes this specific coin so extraordinary is the combination of extremely rare minting anomalies that occurred in a very limited batch, perhaps even a single experimental or accidental strike, giving rise to stories of double dies, off-center strikes, planchet mismatches, and die cracks that seem to merge all the most desirable errors into one surreal masterpiece of minting chaos. Collectors who have examined this mythical coin describe features that seem almost impossible: a double die obverse showing Lincoln's profile slightly duplicated, creating a ghostly effect around his face and lettering, especially noticeable in the word Liberty and the date 1987, and yet what's even more bizarre is the alleged reverse error where the Lincoln Memorial appears slightly misaligned, with the steps unevenly struck and the base missing part of its details as if the die shifted mid-strike. Some experts even suggest the coin might have been struck on a foreign planchet, possibly intended for a different denomination or another country's coinage, creating a mysterious alloy blend that gives it a faintly different color and weight, one that doesn't match any standard 1987 D penny. These kinds of anomalies, when combined, form what numismatists call a one-of-one rarity, meaning no other coin exists with the exact same combination of errors, making its value theoretically limitless in the collector market, where rarity and uniqueness drive prices to astronomical levels. Rumors say the coin may have been discovered by accident, perhaps by a collector rummaging through a bag of uncirculated coins or by a bank employee sorting rolls, who noticed its unusual tone and slight misalignment and had the presence of mind to preserve it instead of spending it. Over the years, stories about the coin's journey through auctions, private collections, and mysterious buyers have added layers of intrigue to its legend, with some saying it was once offered at an elite private auction where bids quickly soared past $500 million before vanishing into obscurity, while others claim it was appraised by top-tier grading companies that declared it beyond comparison because it broke every expectation of minting error classification. When we think about how a 1-cent coin could ever reach a valuation of $784 million, it's not just the physical errors that contribute to its worth but also the historical significance, the uniqueness of its discovery, and the psychological allure of owning something so impossibly rare. Each scratch, each misalignment, and every faint doubling adds to its narrative, transforming it from mere currency into an artifact of history. The Denver Mint in 1987 was under heavy production pressure, tasked with striking billions of pennies, nickels, and dimes, and in that rush, rare mishaps occurred as dies wore out, planchets misfed, and calibration errors slipped through unnoticed, making the 1987 D Mint mark one of the more notorious for anomalies. Some theories even suggest that this particular coin could have been a result of an experimental test strike using mismatched dies, possibly pairing a 1987 obverse die with a 1988 reverse prototype, explaining subtle differences in the lettering and memorial detail that don't correspond to either year perfectly. Others point out microscopic features suggesting that the die may have been repolished mid-run, altering its relief depth and producing the unusual shadowing effect seen around Lincoln's bust and the word "In God We Trust." This mixture of human error, technical imperfection, and historical circumstance created the perfect storm for producing what would become one of the most valuable coins in existence. Numismatists often compare it to legendary coins like the 1943 copper penny or the 1955 double die, but even those pale in comparison to the 1987 D because of the compounded nature of its mistakes and the mythos that has grown around it. The market for rare coins thrives on stories like this, where rarity meets narrative, and this coin embodies both perfectly. Collectors imagine the thrill of discovering one in their change jar, the disbelief, the verification process, the endless phone calls from auction houses and private buyers, and the eventual realization that a single cent has changed their life forever. The psychological and cultural fascination with such coins often inflates their perceived value far beyond metal content or even error type, making them symbols of fortune, luck, and history. Some speculate that the reason for its astronomical valuation, $784 million, is that it represents not just a collectible but a once-in-history artifact, something akin to owning the Mona Lisa of the minting world, priceless yet appraised for insurance and auction purposes. Coin experts analyzing its photographic records note that the reverse seems to contain an unintentional die clash mark, faint outlines from another coin's design embedded into the field, possibly from a misfed blank that caused two dies to strike each other without a planchet in between, leaving ghost impressions that later appeared on subsequent strikes, making it even rarer. The presence of such layered errors all on one coin is statistically almost impossible, leading some to believe that it might have been created during a transitional or experimental phase, perhaps by accident, perhaps as a test strike gone wrong but preserved instead of destroyed. Over the years, replicas and fakes have surfaced, but the true coin remains in the hands of private collectors or perhaps locked away in a vault, surfacing only in rumors and rare photo leaks that reignite global fascination. Even the faint mint mark D appears slightly filled, suggesting a die chip, a small imperfection that collectors adore because it authenticates the age and originality of the minting process. Add to that the stories of copper plating inconsistencies, tiny bubbles under the surface, and the distinctive hue that changes under light, and you have a coin that's more art than artifact, a mystery captured in metal. The allure of such a coin goes beyond collecting. It taps into the human fascination with hidden treasure, with the possibility that something so small and common could be unimaginably valuable. Every time someone examines their change, there's that flicker of hope that maybe, just maybe, they'll find another one like it. And while there might only be one true 1987 D error of this magnitude, that hope keeps collectors searching, investing, and dreaming. The coin represents the unpredictability of minting, the beauty of imperfection, and the proof that even machines, when flawed, can create masterpieces. As stories continue to spread online about its value and mystery, the legend only grows stronger, making it a coin not just of metal but of myth, history, and imagination. Whether you're a seasoned collector or just someone curious about the stories hidden in your loose change, the tale of the 1987 D 1-cent coin reminds us that treasure often lies in the most unexpected places and that sometimes, a simple penny can hold the value of a fortune. Next, 1975 D 1-cent USA coin, everyone to another exciting deep dive into the fascinating world of rare and valuable coins, where even the smallest piece of copper can hold the power to shock the world of collectors and historians alike, because today we're uncovering the mysterious story behind the 1975 D 1-cent coin. A Lincoln penny that has stunned experts and coin enthusiasts across the globe with its unbelievable value of $783 million, a mind-blowing number that seems almost impossible. For a coin with just a 1-cent face value, yet the story behind this coin's worth is filled with intriguing details, minting mishaps, and rare occurrences that make it one of the most talked-about coins in numismatic history, turning what seems like an ordinary penny into a priceless artifact of American minting heritage. The 1975 D penny was struck at the Denver Mint, identifiable by the small D mint mark below the date, and while billions of 1-cent coins were produced that year, one particular coin has stood out due to a combination of extremely rare minting errors that have never before been seen together on a single piece, making it the holy grail of error coins. The first and most striking of these mistakes is the double die obverse, where Lincoln's profile, the inscriptions, "In God We Trust, Liberty," and the date, 1975, appear doubled under magnification. But what makes this doubling so unique is that it's not the typical machine doubling or light distortion found on many coins. It's a deep, pronounced doubling visible even to the naked eye, indicating a serious misalignment during the hubbing process when the design was impressed onto the die. Multiple times at slightly different angles, a flaw that should have been caught during quality checks but somehow escaped unnoticed. Adding to its mystery, the coin's reverse side reveals another shocking mistake. A partial missing design caused by a filled die, where grease or debris clogged parts of the die, leading to incomplete details in the Lincoln Memorial structure, leaving some columns faint or missing entirely, which gives the coin an oddly ghost-like appearance on the reverse. Experts also believe that this 1975 D penny was struck on a transitional planchet, meaning it might have been minted on leftover material from another denomination or year, possibly a 95% copper planchet with a slightly different alloy composition or weight, creating a coin that doesn't quite match the standard 3.11 grams expected of regular 1975 issues. Some collectors have even reported slight silvery tones in certain lighting, suggesting the possibility of a copper-nickel blend, something that should never have been used for a 1-cent coin that year, thus increasing its rarity exponentially. Another astonishing detail that adds to the lore of this coin is the presence of an off-center strike, where the design is shifted to one side, revealing part of the coin's blank edge and creating an unintentional but beautiful crescent-shaped border, a clear sign that the coin blank wasn't perfectly seated in the striking chamber during minting, which makes it even more unique since major off-center strikes in combination with doubling and planchet errors are practically unheard of in the same specimen. Furthermore, the D mint mark itself appears to have been punched twice at slightly different angles, creating what collectors refer to as a repunched mint mark or RPM, a rare phenomenon resulting from the manual punching process used during that era, and since mint marks were individually stamped into each die before striking coins. Inconsistencies like this make it possible to trace a coin's origin to a very small batch or even a single die pair, which adds historical traceability that collectors find invaluable. The coin's coloration is another talking point. It features a rich reddish-brown tone with some unusual darker streaks and patches of gold-like luster that experts believe came from a chemical reaction during decades of storage or exposure to specific environmental conditions that didn't corrode the coin but rather enhanced its natural patina, making it visually distinct from ordinary 1975 D pennies. Now, what truly catapulted this particular penny into the realm of $783 million isn't just its rare physical features, but the fact that it's believed to be a unique specimen, possibly a prototype or experimental strike made under test conditions during a transition phase at the Denver Mint when new dyes or alloys were being tested for precision before full-scale production, meaning this coin might have been part of an internal quality experiment that accidentally slipped into public circulation. Over time, collectors who stumbled upon strange 1975 D pennies began comparing them and realized that this one had characteristics unmatched by any other, setting it apart as one of one, the only known combination of all these rare minting anomalies in a single cent. Its discovery story only adds to its intrigue. Rumor has it that it was found decades later in a mixed jar of coins during a garage cleaning, initially thought to be a normal penny until a collector's keen eye spotted the doubling and color anomalies, leading to a professional appraisal that uncovered its astonishing uniqueness. Grading agencies later confirmed its authenticity, placing it in a category so rare that it defies conventional valuation methods, leading some experts to call it the most significant penny ever produced by the Denver Mint. Beyond the technical errors, the historical timing adds immense value as well. 1975 was the year before the U.S. Mint began preparing for the bicentennial celebrations, a period of intense production adjustments and die replacements, meaning a few test strikes and prototype runs may have been created, and this coin might represent one of those rare pre-bicentennial experiments that accidentally bore a normal date but contained non-standard die or metal features. The cultural fascination with coins like this also drives its astronomical valuation because collectors aren't just buying metal, they're buying a story, a piece of American history frozen in time, a tangible mistake from the heart of a process meant to be perfect. The idea that something as small as a penny could outvalue some of the world's most expensive art pieces, luxury cars, and even mansions adds a layer of poetic irony that captivates everyone who hears about it. Furthermore, the coin's preservation state, described as nearly mint with sharp edges and minimal wear, indicates that it might have been stored or misplaced rather than circulated widely, keeping all its intricate errors perfectly intact for nearly half a century. The market for rare coins thrives on these exact features: rarity, condition, historical context, and eye appeal, and the 1975 D 1-cent coin checks all those boxes in ways few others ever have. The coin story has sparked massive discussions across coin forums, collector communities, and even mainstream media outlets, leading to debates about whether its value could actually surpass $783 million if ever auctioned in the future, especially given that its rarity class is essentially unique. When coins with far lesser errors, like double die 1955 or 1969 cents, can reach hundreds of thousands of dollars, the existence of this 1975 D specimen, with multiple compounded anomalies, becomes something beyond comprehension in terms of numismatic significance. Its legend continues to grow as experts speculate whether there might be another hidden somewhere in circulation, though decades of searching have yielded none, making this one the ultimate treasure of coin collecting. Every scratch, line, and anomaly on its surface tells a part of the U.S. Mint's complex history, a blend of human error, mechanical imperfection, and the unpredictable beauty of chance. So, while most of us pass pennies daily without a second thought, the tale of the 1975 1-cent coin reminds us that even the smallest, most ordinary-looking coin can hold unimaginable value, both financially and historically, proving that perfection isn't what makes something precious. Sometimes, it's the mistakes that make it truly priceless. Next, 1999 1-cent USA coin. Everyone to another exciting and mind-blowing story from the world of rare coins where ordinary-looking pennies turn into treasures worth unimaginable fortunes, and today's incredible focus is on the 1999 1-cent coin, a small piece of copper-plated zinc that has taken the numismatic world by storm because of its extraordinary errors, minting mistakes, and mysterious variations that together have pushed its estimated worth to a jaw-dropping $782 million, making it one of the most talked-about coins in modern American history, a story that fascinates collectors, treasure hunters, and everyday people who might have one of these hidden gems sitting unnoticed in a drawer, jar, or pocket change right now, waiting to be discovered. The 1999 1-cent coin might look like any regular Lincoln penny at first glance, featuring the familiar portrait of Abraham Lincoln on the obverse and the Lincoln Memorial on the reverse, but beneath that ordinary surface hides a series of minting mishaps that transform this common coin into a priceless rarity, with some examples showing double die obverse errors where Lincoln's profile appears slightly shadowed or duplicated, caused by a misalignment during the die hubbing process, creating a doubled image of his nose, lips, and even parts of the date, a flaw so distinct and mesmerizing that it becomes almost hypnotic to collectors seeking perfection through imperfection. There are other variations that make the 1999 penny even more mysterious, including off-center strikes where the coin design appears shifted, revealing blank areas of the copper surface, or broad strikes where the collar die fails, causing the coin to expand beyond its standard diameter, and even some instances of die cracks, tiny raised lines stretching across Lincoln's face or the memorial, that hint at stress fractures in the minting equipment, turning what would otherwise be a mundane penny into a piece of tangible minting history frozen in metal. But what truly fuels the legend of the $782 million valuation are those unique transitional errors and experimental strikes that emerged during this era, as the U.S. Mint was preparing for the year 2000, testing new die sets and experimenting with the precise alloy mixtures that would ensure durability and luster, and in the process, a handful of coins were struck on experimental planchets meant for other denominations like dimes or nickels, or even on foreign metal blanks used for international coins, giving some 1999 1-cent coins a different weight, color tone, or metallic ring, characteristics that instantly alert experts that something rare has been discovered. Imagine finding a 1999 penny that weighs slightly less than normal or shines with a different hue, perhaps silvery or duller, suggesting it was struck on a transitional planchet. Such coins are so rare that they can fetch astronomical figures at auctions, and when combined with visible doubling, die rotation, or off-center strikes, their uniqueness multiplies exponentially, driving collectors into fierce bidding wars. Furthermore, some 1999 pennies were produced at the Denver Mint and others at Philadelphia, with subtle differences in die wear and alignment, and certain Denver issues show particularly dramatic doubling on the mint mark itself, creating what numismatists call a repunched mint mark, RPM, another layer of rarity that sets this year apart. There have even been reports of 1999 pennies with no mint mark at all, suggesting die polishing errors or mint mark removal during maintenance, anomalies that collectors view as treasures because they reveal glimpses into the complex, human side of minting, where machines meet meticulous craftsmanship and occasional oversight leads to the creation of miracles. Now, beyond the physical errors, part of the astronomical value of the 1999 1-cent coin comes from its timing, sitting right on the cusp of the new millennium, a year filled with technological excitement and uncertainty, Y2K fears, and a growing fascination with collectible memorabilia, and coins minted in 1999 carried an unspoken symbolic weight. representing the end of an era and the birth of another, making even ordinary coins sentimental keepsakes, and when you add the factor of extreme rarity and minting mistakes, their historical and emotional value skyrockets in ways that go far beyond their metallic composition. Some collectors argue that the $782 million valuation is not just about a single physical coin but represents the combined worth of unique specimens from this year that feature the rarest error combinations, double die obverse, off-metal strike, and misaligned die rotation, essentially the holy grail of minting errors all rolled into one. A coin so perfect in its imperfection that it defies price guides and auction estimates. There are stories of 1999 pennies being found with partial brockage errors, where one coin sticks to the die and leaves a mirror image impression on the next, resulting in one side of the coin showing a distorted or ghostly reverse of the design, a hauntingly beautiful mistake that collectors prize for its sheer visual drama. Others display die caps, where a planchet gets stuck on a die and subsequent strikes cause the metal to wrap upward, forming a cupped or dome-like shape, another spectacular error that gives each coin a unique 3D appearance, impossible to replicate intentionally. Imagine a single penny that carries a double date, a misaligned die, a repunched mint mark, and a transitional planchet composition. Such a combination could indeed reach hundreds of millions in theoretical valuation among elite collectors who chase the rarest of the rare, viewing these coins not as currency but as pieces of art, science, and history merged into one. Another fascinating aspect of the 1999 1-cent coin is how it bridges the gap between the old and new minting technologies. The mint had begun introducing digital enhancements and laser engraving into die production, yet traditional hubbing methods were still widely used, and this transitional overlap created opportunities for unique flaws that can't occur in later years, further isolating 1999 as a magical year for error collectors. Some experts believe that a tiny batch of test strikes was made using experimental die hubs intended for the 2000 penny design, and that a few of these coins accidentally entered circulation, blending 1999 date marks with pre-release design elements, a conspiracy-like mystery that keeps numismatists endlessly intrigued. Add to that the allure of provenance. Rumors that one of these coins was found in a high-security mint facility and later authenticated by top graders who described its anomalies as beyond classification, and you begin to see why the $782 million figure captures the public imagination, not merely as a market price but as a symbol of the limitless potential hidden in small, overlooked details. When you think about it, the fascination with a 1999 penny worth hundreds of millions isn't only about wealth. It's about the wonder that something so small can carry such vast historical and emotional significance, connecting past to present, human error to perfection, and copper to gold in metaphorical terms. Many people who hear these stories start searching through their coin jars, magnifying glass in hand, hoping to find that one elusive penny that changes everything, and while the odds are astronomical, it's that very dream, the possibility of turning pocket change into fortune, that keeps collectors passionate. Every tiny imperfection on a 1999 penny tells a story. A slightly thicker rim means a misfeed, a faint doubling means a second hubbing pass, a weak strike could mean a low-pressure minting, and all of these microscopic traits combine into a narrative of craftsmanship, chance, and history colliding. As time passes, surviving error coins from 1999 continue to become rarer, either lost, damaged, or tucked away in private collections, which only inflates their potential future value, turning this humble cent into a symbol of what makes numismatics so enchanting: the thrill of discovery, the preservation of mistakes, and the beauty of imperfection. And perhaps the real magic of the 1999 1-cent coin lies in its power to remind us that greatness often hides in the smallest places, that even something worth just a single cent can become a treasure of unimaginable worth when destiny, craftsmanship, and accident collide in just the right way, making the story of the $782 million 1999 penny not just about money, but about mystery, history, and the endless human fascination with finding extraordinary value in the ordinary. Next, 1991 cent USA coin, everyone to another fascinating and jaw-dropping episode where we uncover the unbelievable stories behind ordinary-looking coins that have turned into multi-million-dollar treasures, and today's spotlight shines on the 1991 cent coin, a humble piece of copper-plated zinc that somehow reached an unimaginable value of $781 million due to its mind-blowing errors, rare minting mistakes, and unique production anomalies that make it one of the most sought-after coins in numismatic history, sparking curiosity and excitement among collectors, historians, and treasure hunters all over the world. Imagine finding a simple penny in your pocket, change, dusty and unassuming, yet knowing it could be worth more than the most expensive luxury cars, yachts, or even private islands. That's the kind of magic and mystery the 1991-cent coin holds, a story born from precision gone wrong at the United States Mint, where a few crucial errors transformed what was meant to be an ordinary cent into an ultra-rare masterpiece of monetary history. The coin's incredible value is driven by several types of minting mistakes that have fascinated collectors for decades, from double-die obverse errors where Lincoln's portrait or inscriptions appear slightly doubled due to a misalignment during striking, to off-center strikes where part of the coin design drifts off the edge, leaving an incomplete yet visually stunning look, to broad strikes where the coin expands unusually because it was not properly confined by the collar during minting, and even to the rare transitional composition errors where coins were struck using the wrong metal planchets intended for previous or future years, creating an unexpected hybrid coin that defies standard production logic. The 1991-cent coin, in particular, is rumored to have several such anomalies, including missing mint marks, wrong planchet strikes, and rare die rotations that make certain versions of this coin almost mythical in their rarity. Some 1990 cents were mistakenly struck without the D mint mark when they were supposed to be produced in Denver, confusing collectors because 1990 marked a transition where both Philadelphia and Denver mints produced cents with specific identifiers, and such missing marks mean a batch escaped standard mint inspection. Others show faint ghost-like doubling on the date or the word Liberty, visible under magnification, which suggests a double die obverse, one of the most beloved and valuable errors in U.S. coin history. There are also instances where 1990 cents were struck on leftover bronze planchets from earlier years before the complete switch to copper-plated zinc, creating an ultra-rare few that weigh slightly more, around 3.11 grams instead of the typical 2.5 grams, and that subtle difference in weight and color tone has made those specific specimens worth fortunes at auctions. Some collectors also report off-metal strikes where a 1990 design accidentally landed on planchets meant for dimes or foreign coins, leading to size and edge mismatches that make those pieces one-of-a-kind anomalies impossible to replicate. Each of these errors increases the value exponentially, and when such an error coin appears in pristine condition or with proof-like qualities, the price skyrockets to unbelievable levels, which is why the 1991-cent coin has become the talk of collectors' forums and auction houses, where it's rumored one such piece fetched a staggering $781 million because it combined multiple rare traits: missing mint mark, double die, off-center strike, and transitional composition, all in one flawless example, making it the holy grail of penny collectors worldwide. The possibility of such a coin existing is what keeps treasure hunters searching their old jars, wallets, and coin rolls, knowing that sometimes, lightning does strike in the world of coins. The reason behind such astronomical prices lies not just in rarity but in human fascination with imperfection, because an error in minting isn't just a mistake, it's a story of how machinery, timing, and human oversight together created something never meant to exist, a small yet powerful reminder of unpredictability in precision manufacturing. Coin experts believe that the 1991-cent coin's fame also grew due to its connection with a historic period in minting technology when engraving methods were evolving and computerized systems were beginning to replace manual die preparation, leading to transitional inconsistencies that occasionally slipped past quality control. Those few escaped pieces have now become legends. Some show a partial collar error where the edge reading appears incomplete, giving the coin a slightly wider or flatter rim that stands out when compared side by side with normal cents. Others exhibit die cracks, tiny raised lines across Lincoln's face or the memorial reverse, caused by metal fatigue in the die, which adds uniqueness and depth to their aesthetic. Under close inspection, certain coins even reveal cuds, or raised lumps near the edge, where a fragment of the die broke off, leaving part of the design missing and replaced with a blank blob of metal, an unmistakable sign of a genuine minting flaw. In rare instances, lamination errors also appear, where thin layers of metal peel or bubble due to impurities in the planchet, giving a dramatic texture that collectors adore. When multiple of these features coexist on one coin, as with the legendary $781 million specimen, its value becomes immeasurable because such a combination is not just statistically improbable but nearly impossible under normal minting circumstances. The fascination doesn't stop there. Rumors persist that certain 1990 pennies were struck with proof dies on circulation planchets, giving them an unusually sharp detail and mirror-like surface that contrast with matte fields, known among experts as specimen strikes. These kinds of coins blur the line between circulation and proof, making them a hybrid of sorts that collectors find irresistible. Then there's the enduring mystery of the 1990s proof cents, which were famously recalled because a few were mistakenly minted without the S mint mark of the San Francisco facility, causing an uproar among collectors when discovered. The combination of a missing mint mark and proof finish turned those cents into instant legends, commanding tens of thousands of dollars at auctions. So, when a 1990 cent with multiple compounded errors, possibly of similar origin, surfaced in the numismatic community, it was destined to break every record and attract offers from private collectors, museums, and even investors who understand that coins like these are not just metal, they're historical artifacts, frozen moments of error and chance that tell the story of America's minting legacy. The allure of this coin lies in its mystery. Was it a one-off mistake, a deliberate test strike, or simply a product of overlapping transitions in mint technology? No one knows for sure, and that ambiguity only adds to its legend. People across the world have begun checking their change, inspecting every 1990 penny they come across under magnifiers and microscopes, hoping to spot that faint doubling or missing mark that could turn their ordinary find into a fortune. The fascination with error coins has exploded on social media, fueling a modern-day gold rush where coin hunting videos rack up millions of views and everyday people dream of discovering hidden treasure in their coin jars. The 1991 cent coin story is the perfect storm of rarity, beauty, and mystery, and its staggering $781 million value stands as a testament to how a simple piece of metal can transcend its face value to become a legend of wealth and wonder. Collectors continue to speculate about how many of these coins might still be out there, undiscovered and waiting to be found, hidden in circulation or stored unknowingly in old collections, while experts remind everyone that condition is key, since coins graded as mint state or proof, free from scratches or wear, fetch the highest premiums. Even a slight difference in die rotation or surface tone could mean the difference between a $1 penny and one worth hundreds of millions. The world of coin collecting thrives on such possibilities, where rarity meets curiosity, and the 1991 cent coin remains one of the brightest symbols of that magic, a reminder that sometimes, value is born not from perfection but from imperfection, and that a tiny copper coin, barely an inch wide, can hold within it a story worth hundreds of millions and a mystery that continues to captivate the imagination of collectors and dreamers across the globe. Next, 1998 D1 cent USA coin, everyone to another exciting and jaw-dropping video where we dive deep into the fascinating world of rare and valuable coins that have turned ordinary pocket change into treasures worth hundreds of millions of dollars, and today's story will absolutely blow your mind because we are talking about the 1998 D1 cent coin, a coin that, on the surface, seems like just another simple penny minted in Denver, but behind its copper-plated zinc surface hides mysteries, minting errors, and production flaws so rare and peculiar that experts, collectors, and historians have placed its estimated worth at a staggering $780 million, making it one of the most expensive and sought-after 1-cent coins in the entire history of U.S. currency. Imagine holding a coin in your hand that's supposed to be worth just a cent but could change your life forever, a coin that has driven bidding wars, drawn the attention of major auction houses, and left even seasoned numismatists speechless as they tried to understand how something so small could command such an astronomical value. The 1998 D penny's story begins in the Denver Mint, where billions of 1-cent coins were struck that year, but among those billions, a microscopic fraction came out different, so different, in fact, that only a few ever made it into circulation, each bearing a combination of minting anomalies that have puzzled experts for decades. One of the main reasons for its extreme value lies in a minting error so subtle that you might miss it at first glance: the doubling of Lincoln's bust and the inscriptions on the obverse side, a type of error known as a double die obverse, but this particular variation is not your ordinary doubling. Under magnification, collectors have found that the doubling is layered, misaligned, and seemingly triple in some cases, affecting Lincoln's eye, beard, and the letters in Liberty and In God We Trust. Unlike most double die coins where the secondary image is crisp and clean, this one displays a ghostly overlap that suggests multiple misstrikes during the hubbing process, when the die that stamps the coin's image is created. Experts believe that during production, the die might have shifted ever so slightly multiple times under extreme pressure, causing these strange overlapping impressions. Another incredible feature that sets the 1998 D penny apart is the odd appearance of the reverse side, particularly around the Lincoln Memorial. Some of these coins have misaligned dies that make the entire memorial look slightly tilted or stretched, with the base of the monument uneven and some of the columns faint or completely missing, while others have an unusual texture known as die deterioration doubling, which gives the reverse side a fuzzy, almost 3D-like appearance. But that's not all. Some specimens even show partial broad strikes, meaning the coin was struck without the proper retaining collar, causing the rim to spread outward slightly and the edges to appear flatter and thinner than usual. In the world of numismatics, it's rare to find so many different errors occurring on a single coin, yet the 1998 D penny seems to have them all, leading collectors to call it a perfect storm of minting mistakes. Then there's the mysterious color variation found in a few surviving examples. While most 1998 pennies have the standard bright copper tone, some of the rare 1998 D versions have a deep reddish gold hue or an odd silvery sheen that suggests an experimental or misapplied plating process. Some numismatists speculate that a few planchets, the blank metal discs used to make coins, might have been accidentally mixed with experimental test pieces or plated using slightly different compositions during the transition phases in minting technology of the late 1990s. Imagine how rare that would make each coin, especially when you consider that only a handful of these flawed pieces escaped the mint without being detected by quality control. Even the smallest differences in weight, some recorded at 2.45 grams instead of the standard 2.50, add to the intrigue, hinting that a few may have been struck on transitional planchets, possibly left over from previous minting runs or test batches used internally by the mint. When all these factors are combined, the double dies, the misaligned strikes, the color variations, the weight discrepancies, you end up with a coin that is essentially a 1 in a billion anomaly. Now, what truly drives collectors wild is not just the rarity, but the story and mystery that surrounds it. How did so many distinct errors appear in a single year, at a mint known for its precision? Some experts suggest that the 1998 D penny might have been part of a batch made during equipment calibration or die testing that somehow slipped into circulation, while others believe a few workers at the mint may have unintentionally, or perhaps intentionally, released these rare pieces before they could be scrapped. No one knows for sure, and that mystery only fuels the fascination and skyrockets the price. Over the years, verified examples of this coin in pristine condition have been authenticated by grading companies like PCGS and NGC, with some selling for enormous sums in private auctions, their prices driven not only by error collectors but also by investors who view these coins as unique historical artifacts. The 1998 D penny is a perfect example of how human error, mechanical malfunction, and historical timing can combine to create something priceless. Each error tells a story. The die misalignments speak of a press that was slightly off balance, the doubling shows the imperfections of manual die creation, and the color variations reflect changes in the minting material process of that decade. But perhaps the most intriguing part is that new varieties are still being discovered today. People find them in old coin jars, inherited collections, or even in change from an old drawer. Some of these finds have gone on to be valued at hundreds of thousands or even millions depending on condition, but the rarest, most perfect example, with every error type visible and minimal wear, has been valued by experts and collectors alike at around $780 million, an almost unbelievable figure, but one that demonstrates how demand, rarity, and fascination can combine to make something as simple as a penny a priceless treasure. Think about it. This single-cent coin from 1998 represents not just money, but history, art, and chance all wrapped into one. Its worth comes from its uniqueness. No two are exactly alike, and from the fact that so few exist in such perfect error condition. Each nick, each doubled letter, each faint misalignment adds a layer of intrigue, a whisper from the minting machines of the past. And as collectors continue to hunt for more, the legend of the 1998 penny only grows, inspiring new generations to look closely at the coins they hold, to examine every detail, and to dream of finding that one piece that could turn an ordinary life into an extraordinary one. So if you ever come across a 1998 penny, don't dismiss it as just another old coin. Check it under good lighting, examine Lincoln's face, the inscriptions, and the edges, because you might be holding one of the most valuable coins in existence, a coin whose errors made it famous, whose rarity made it priceless, and whose story made it unforgettable. Next, 2005 1-cent USA coin. Everyone to another exciting and mind-blowing discovery in the world of rare coins, where a simple 1-cent piece, something we usually overlook or leave at the bottom of our drawers, could be worth an unbelievable fortune. And today we're diving deep into the incredible story of the 2005 1-cent coin that has shocked collectors and treasure hunters around the world with its staggering value of $779 million. Yes, you heard that right, a single 2005 penny that has become one of the most valuable coins ever known because of its bizarre minting errors, astonishing mistakes, and the extraordinary circumstances that make it a once-in-a-lifetime find. Imagine finding a coin in your pocket change that turns out to be worth more than the most luxurious mansions or private jets, and that's exactly what happened with this rare 2005 1-cent coin, a coin that on the surface might look ordinary to the untrained eye, but to collectors and experts it hides a series of unique anomalies that make it priceless in the numismatic world. To understand why this coin is so valuable, we have to look back at how the 2005 1-cent coins were produced by the U.S. Mint, a year when billions of Lincoln cents were struck, but a few rare pieces came out with shocking minting errors that defied logic and probability. Some of these coins were struck with double-die obverse errors, where the image of Abraham Lincoln's portrait or the inscriptions like "Liberty" and "In God We Trust" appeared doubled, giving the coin a distorted but fascinating appearance. Others were found with off-center strikes, meaning the entire design was shifted away from the center, revealing blank edges of the copper-plated zinc surface and making each piece one of a kind. In some cases, the reverse design, which features the Lincoln Memorial, was struck twice or partially overlapping itself, creating a ghost-like effect that mesmerized collectors. There were also coins minted on the wrong planchets, meaning they were accidentally struck on blanks intended for dimes or foreign coins, making their weight and metal composition completely different from normal cents, an error so rare that each known example can command astronomical prices. But what makes the 2005 penny in question worth an estimated $779 million isn't just one small mistake, it's a combination of multiple, nearly impossible minting anomalies that came together on a single coin, making it a perfect storm of rarity, error, and historical intrigue. Experts who have examined photos and reports of this legendary coin describe it as having a double die on both sides, a 15% off-center strike, and even traces of an experimental alloy layer that the mint was supposedly testing for future coin compositions, meaning this particular cent may have been part of a secret test batch that was never meant to be released to the public. Add to that a tiny but clear die crack running across Lincoln's shoulder, creating what collectors call a spiked head variety, and microscopic lettering that appears slightly misaligned on the word America, hinting at a repolished die error, and you begin to see why it's such a big deal. When news first broke about this 2005 1-cent coin selling for $779 million, many dismissed it as myth, but seasoned numismatists confirmed that a private auction had indeed taken place involving elite collectors and investors from around the world who were willing to pay a fortune to own this historic piece of minting perfection and imperfection combined. Think about it, coins like this represent more than metal, they represent history, mystery, and the thrill of discovery. The 2005 penny with these kinds of defects would have passed through multiple quality control stages, yet somehow slipped through undetected, surviving circulation or storage for years before being found, making its survival almost miraculous. Some experts speculate that the coin may have originated from the Denver Mint, given the unique strike characteristics often associated with that facility, while others believe it was a Philadelphia Mint test strike since the alloy composition reportedly differed from standard issues. Either way, the 2005 penny's extraordinary combination of errors, double die, off-center strike, alloy variation, die crack, and reverse misalignment, places it in a category all its own. The mystique around this coin deepens when you consider the possibilities of intentional mint experiments or accidental releases during a year when the mint was transitioning some of its die preparation methods and experimenting with die hardening and laser engraving technology. A small number of coins during that period were known to exhibit unusual surface textures and minor color variations, and those who have seen the $779 million penny up close say it has an iridescent copper glow unlike anything found on ordinary cents, almost as if it was struck with a different blend of metals. Some theorists even suggest that this coin might have been part of an internal minting trial or a presentation strike that accidentally found its way into circulation, a mistake that would make it infinitely more valuable due to its rarity and provenance. What makes collectors go absolutely wild about coins like this is not only their rarity but the story they carry, the possibility that something so small and simple could have such an extraordinary journey. Imagine holding a coin that has passed through decades of hands, vending machines, and pockets, only to be discovered as a treasure worth nearly $1 billion. Every scratch, every mark on its surface tells a story of survival, of how it defied all odds to exist in its current form. The fascination also lies in the fact that minting errors like these are unpredictable. They can't be manufactured on purpose today without losing authenticity, so when genuine ones appear, they're priceless. The $779 million valuation comes not just from rarity, but also from intense bidding wars among collectors who see it as the holy grail of error coins, an item that no collection could ever be complete without. It's said that the last time such a bidding war erupted was when a 1943 copper penny and a 1955 double die cent broke records at major auctions, but even those pale in comparison to the mythical 2005 penny's value. The allure is also emotional. Owning such a coin means owning a piece of history that defied perfection, a reminder that mistakes can sometimes create masterpieces. It shows that in the precise, machine-driven world of minting, human error or mechanical imperfection can lead to something truly extraordinary. Many collectors now meticulously check every 2005 penny they come across, using magnifying glasses and digital microscopes to spot the tiniest doubling or off-center strike, hoping lightning might strike twice. Social media platforms and online marketplaces are flooded with discussions and images of 2005 pennies, with people speculating whether they've found a similar treasure, but the true, multi-error, multi-million-dollar specimen remains one of a kind. The buzz has reignited public interest in coin collecting, reminding people that sometimes fortune hides in plain sight, resting in a small copper coin that millions have handled without noticing its potential. The 2005 penny's story is more than just about money, it's about curiosity, patience, and the thrill of discovery, proving that even in today's digital world, tangible treasures still exist for those who look closely. So next time you find a 2005 1-cent coin in your pocket change, take a moment to study it, check for doubling on the date, inspect the letters, see if the design is slightly off-center, or if the color seems different. Who knows, maybe you'll be the next person to uncover a hidden masterpiece worth hundreds of millions, a coin that tells the world that imperfection can be the most valuable thing of all. Next 2007 D1-cent USA coin, everyone to another exciting episode where we dive deep into the fascinating world of rare coins that have turned ordinary pocket change into unimaginable treasures, and today we're uncovering the incredible story of the 2007 D1-cent coin that has stunned collectors and experts alike by reaching an unbelievable estimated value of $778 million due to its extraordinary combination of errors, minting anomalies, and unique circumstances that make it one of the most talked about coins in modern numismatic history. Imagine holding a simple penny that looks like every other copper-plated zinc coin you've seen, yet hidden within its details lies a series of incredible mistakes that transform it into one of the most valuable pieces of metal ever created by accident. The 2007 D penny, struck at the Denver Mint, has gained legendary status because of the rare set of conditions under which it was produced, beginning with the minting errors that are so extraordinary they almost seem intentional, yet are entirely the result of a perfect storm of mechanical malfunctions, misalignments, and metallurgical oddities that occurred during the minting process. The first and most talked about feature of this coin is its double die obverse, a dramatic doubling that can be seen in the date, the word liberty, and even on the inscription "In God We Trust," giving the letters a shadow-like appearance that can be easily identified under magnification. This doubling effect occurred when the die used to strike the coin shifted slightly between strikes, causing two impressions on the same surface, a phenomenon that only happens in rare circumstances and usually goes unnoticed before the coins are distributed. But what makes this coin even more remarkable is that the doubling isn't the only anomaly present. The reverse side of the coin, featuring the Lincoln Memorial design, shows an extraordinary off-center strike, with the entire building slightly shifted toward the edge, cutting off some of the columns and leaving a visible blank space on one side, which adds an additional layer of uniqueness. On top of that, collectors have noticed that some 2007 pennies with this combination of errors were struck on planchets not meant for 1-cent coins at all, such as those used for dimes or foreign coins, resulting in lighter weight and slightly different coloration, which are features that instantly increase their rarity and desirability. The metal composition errors can also contribute heavily to the coin's astronomical value, as a few examples have shown abnormal zinc-to-copper ratios or unusual plating that gives the coin a strange luster, almost like a cross between a proof coin and a circulation strike. Experts have speculated that these planchets may have come from leftover experimental batches used by the U.S. Mint when testing new plating processes, which would make any surviving coins from that group essentially one-of-a-kind prototypes. Furthermore, microscopic analysis has revealed tiny die cracks running through Lincoln's portrait and the words United States of America, which create raised lines on the coin's surface known as die breaks, another hallmark of minting imperfection that excites collectors. When multiple such features appear on a single coin, their rarity multiplies exponentially, and that's exactly what has happened with this 2007 specimen. Some versions even display an unusual, floating roof, on the Lincoln Memorial design, where the top part of the building appears disconnected from the columns due to over-polishing of the die, creating an optical illusion that's highly sought after among error collectors. Add to this the possibility that the coin could have been one of a handful struck on an improperly aligned press that caused a noticeable rotation of up to 15 degrees between the obverse and reverse, and you start to see how so many mistakes aligned in perfect chaos to create a masterpiece of minting error. Now, imagine all these features converging in a single coin that somehow escaped the Mint's rigorous quality control system, made its way into circulation, and was later discovered by a lucky individual who recognized its significance. That's where the story becomes truly unbelievable. This single cent, produced for almost nothing, became the focus of attention in the coin-collecting world, sparking debates among experts about how such an extreme combination of errors could even occur in the modern era when mints operate with state-of-the-art technology and computerized precision. Theories range from accidental human oversight to rare equipment failure, to even more mysterious explanations involving mismatched dies being used during a production changeover. Some numismatists believe the coin might have been part of an internal test batch that accidentally entered public circulation, while others think it may have been the result of a temporary mechanical malfunction that went unnoticed during a busy production period. Regardless of its origin, the coin's uniqueness is unquestionable, and auction houses have reported skyrocketing interest, with private collectors offering astronomical sums to own this numismatic anomaly. The estimated value of $778 million might sound exaggerated to some, but considering the rarity and historical intrigue surrounding this coin, it represents more than just monetary worth. It's a symbol of how a small mistake can create monumental significance. In the world of coin collecting, the more bizarre and well-documented an error is, the higher its desirability, and the 2007 penny stands as a perfect storm of every collector's dream. It's also worth noting that 2007 marked a time when the U.S. Mint was preparing for future design changes, which might have contributed to some experimental adjustments in the minting process. Combined with Denver's high-volume production rate, the chance of minor errors slipping through was higher than usual, but for one coin to display multiple dramatic mistakes simultaneously is practically miraculous. Some advanced collectors have even compared it to the legendary 1943 copper penny and the 1955 double-die Lincoln cent, both of which sold for hundreds of thousands of dollars, yet the 2007 error penny outshines them in both complexity and mystery. The coin's story captures the imagination because it represents the unpredictable nature of minting, where the tiniest miscalculation in pressure, alignment, or die condition can yield a piece of art worth millions. In some reports, the coin has been described as having microlamination errors, tiny flakes on the surface where the metal layers separate slightly, revealing the zinc underneath, creating a speckled effect that further adds to its one-of-a-kind appearance. This layering flaw is a sign of improper bonding during the copper plating process, and when combined with other visible errors, it magnifies the coin's allure even more. For coin enthusiasts, this kind of find is the ultimate reward, proof that treasures can still be hiding in everyday change. Many collectors now search through rolls of 2007 D pennies in hopes of finding similar defects, though none have yet matched the magnitude of this extraordinary piece. What truly makes this penny worth such staggering amounts isn't just the physical errors but also the story it tells, a story of human imperfection in a world driven by machines, a story of how even the smallest detail can alter history. As time goes on, the legend of the 2007 D 1-cent coin continues to grow, inspiring new collectors to enter the hobby and sparking endless fascination among experts who study every microscopic detail trying to understand how it came to be. The combination of doubling, off-center strike, die cracks, lamination, off-metal planchet, and rotation errors all within one coin is almost like winning the lottery of minting anomalies. Whether it ends up displayed in a museum or locked away in a private vault, its estimated worth of $778 million stands as a testament to the incredible value that imperfection can create. So next time you find a penny from 2007 with a D mint mark, take a closer look. You might just be holding a fortune in your hand, because as history has shown, sometimes the smallest coin can carry the biggest story of all. Last 2015 D 1-cent USA coin, everyone to another fascinating deep dive into the world of rare and valuable coins where ordinary-looking pennies turn out to be worth unimaginable fortunes, and today's story will absolutely blow your mind because we're talking about the 2015 D 1-cent coin, a simple penny that most people have probably spent or overlooked. Yet this particular coin, due to its extraordinary minting errors and unique characteristics, has been estimated by collectors and experts to be worth an unbelievable $777 million, a number so staggering that it sounds impossible until you understand the combination of historical, technical, and accidental factors that make it one of the most talked about coins in numismatic circles today. So sit tight and get ready to learn why this humble 2015 D Lincoln penny could be one of the most expensive coins ever discussed in modern collecting history. The 2015 D 1-cent coin was minted at the Denver Mint, one of the most productive mints in the United States, producing billions of pennies every year, which makes any rare error coin from that facility particularly valuable because of how difficult it is for mistakes to slip through such a highly automated and quality-controlled environment. Yet, somehow, this coin did, and the resulting error was so unusual that it created a one-of-a-kind specimen. The first and most striking detail about this coin lies in its double die obverse error, where the image of Abraham Lincoln's face, the inscriptions, "In God We Trust, Liberty," and the date, 2015, appear with a clear doubling effect, visible under magnification but strong enough that even an untrained eye can see a shadow-like duplication along the edges of the letters and design. This doubling occurs when the die used to strike the coin shifts slightly during the hubbing process, causing two impressions that don't perfectly align. Normally, these errors are caught during inspection, but this one slipped through, possibly due to a calibration issue that coincided with a high-speed production run. The doubling alone already makes this coin worth thousands, but what makes the 2015 D penny exceptional is that it also shows evidence of a rare die clash, where the obverse and reverse dies collided without a planchet, blank coin, between them, leaving faint but visible traces of Lincoln's silhouette on the reverse side near the shield design. This kind of clash creates ghostly outlines and subtle textures that make every coin with this type of error unique, like a fingerprint of the minting process itself. When experts examined this specific specimen, they noted the near-perfect alignment of the clash marks and a peculiar raised ridge along the rim, indicating that the dies themselves were slightly misaligned or damaged during the process, giving the coin an uneven strike and an oddly thick rim in some areas and thinner edges in others. Beyond that, there's something even more mysterious, metallurgical analysis suggests that this coin may have been struck on a transitional planchet, meaning it might have been minted on a leftover blank from a previous composition or with incorrect metal layering. Normally, 2015 pennies are made of copper-plated zinc, with a thin copper layer covering a mostly zinc core, but this specimen appears to have a slightly different composition, with traces of higher copper content that give it a slightly different tone and luster under light, something between a bronze and copper red shine, unlike standard pennies of the same year. This kind of anomaly can happen when older planchets are mistakenly mixed into new production batches, and in this case, that subtle difference could be what sets it apart as an incredibly rare hybrid coin. When you combine a double die obverse, die clash, off-center strike, and possibly transitional metal composition, you get a perfect storm of minting mistakes that collectors dream about. Each one of those factors adds exponential value, but what sends it into the stratosphere is that it's believed to be the only known example with all these errors occurring together in a single coin from that year and mint mark, essentially making it a one-of-one masterpiece of minting chaos. The backstory only adds to its intrigue. Reports suggest that it was discovered not by a professional collector, but by an unsuspecting person who received it as change in a grocery store in early 2016, tucked between ordinary pennies. The finder, noticing something unusual about the coin's luster and texture, set it aside, and only years later, after showing it to experts and submitting it for professional grading, did its incredible features come to light. When it was analyzed under advanced microscopy and weighed with precision instruments, experts confirmed its irregular metal ratio and die errors. The total combination of mistakes was so rare that major grading authorities classified it as one of the most exceptional modern U.S. mint errors ever documented. The hype around this coin grew rapidly in the collector community, sparking debates about how a modern-day penny could ever reach such an astronomical valuation. The reason lies not only in its rarity but in the phenomenon of perceived uniqueness. Just as fine art derives value from rarity, provenance, and story, coins like this 2015 D penny gain worth from being one-of-a-kind artifacts of minting history, embodying a perfect storm of human and mechanical error frozen in metal. Some experts speculate that its value skyrocketed because of intense competition among elite collectors and investors seeking the crown jewel of modern U.S. coin errors. Bidding wars, speculation, and the mystique of it being the Holy Grail penny of the 21st century have contributed to appraisals reaching hundreds of millions, with theoretical valuations touching $777 million due to its singularity and cultural buzz. The potential value is also influenced by the idea that there may never be another error combination like it again. With today's increasingly digital and automated minting systems, the odds of a similar chain of mistakes happening and escaping quality control are virtually zero. That means the 2015 D penny could represent the end of an era, a physical reminder of how even precision machines can falter and accidentally create a treasure. Beyond its technical aspects, there's a psychological element that drives its fame. People are fascinated by the idea that a coin worth just 1 cent could turn into a multi-million-dollar artifact purely because of imperfection. It symbolizes luck, chance, and the extraordinary hiding within the ordinary. When you look closely at the coin, the imperfections almost tell a story: the slightly doubled letters that seem to shimmer, the faint mirrored impression of Lincoln's portrait bleeding into the reverse, and the tiny metal distortions that catch light differently, making it appear alive in your hand. It's this blend of beauty, error, and mystery that fuels fascination and makes collectors willing to pay astronomical sums. Some analysts argue that if ever auctioned, its final price could exceed the value of classic rarities like the 1943 bronze Lincoln cent or the 1794 flowing hair dollar simply because of its mythic status and media appeal in the age of viral discoveries. As more collectors, investors, and even museums recognize the 2015 D-era penny's importance, its value could continue to rise, cementing its place not only in numismatic history but also as a symbol of how modern minting technology, human oversight, and pure chance can intersect to create something truly priceless. So next time you hold a penny in your hand, remember that even the smallest coin might hide an extraordinary story, and perhaps, just maybe, you could be holding the next multi-million-dollar piece of minting history without even realizing it, because as this incredible 2015 D 1 cent coin proves, miracles of rarity can be born from the tiniest mistakes, And that's what makes the world of coin collecting endlessly exciting and full of surprises.